welcome back to another episode of Homestuck Halves. Today we got me, we got June, and we got Mason.
Hello.
Sup?
Sadly, neither of the Hope Boys were available. It do be like that sometimes, regrettably.
Yeah.
Big rip.
Yeah.
But it has been a little while since we have seen this Word document, don't you think, folks?
Probably. How many months has it been? Editor Alex, put like a counter.
Yeah, just put the YouTube upload page for the previous part on screen, and you'll see it's been a while.
Yeah, just put the the fear and hunger sound. the wah.
Yes, this is a reference that I understand. Anyway.
I've been playing too much Fungo. It's fine.
This is what the reference.
This is what the reference.
If that I've done nothing but play Elden Ring, Yummy Hustle, and Fungo.
These are the three games.
The three genders.
And you have all of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway. Fucking... Yes. So, allow me to give a little recap of events from last time before we get into things for this time.
Last time on Trollsonas.
Well, you see, actually, last time on the Trollsona miniseries, we created the 8 lands for the Trollsonas and started their session together. Arthur entered first, followed by Xander and his rapidly dwindling number of kids, then followed by Masson, Damasa, Oper, Cereza, Julian, and finally Nimona, the mastermind behind this session's beginning. As the gangs start to settle into the session, something strange happens on Prospit. Arthur blasts through his first and second gates, and Nimona struggles through his land, only to be set back by Arthur's progress. And Masson travels to Durst to hang out with his friend Xander. What is the mysterious Prospit event? What do Julian's girlfriends do on their lands? And what exactly are these players gonna do when shit really hits the fan? Find out now on today's exhilarating episode of Homestuck Halves.
You did it, Coco.
Yeah. Anyway. But yes, that's the general business we're going to be dealing with today.
The Prospit event.
Yes.
What was called the Prospit event?
Ah, yes. My favorite one of those like cursed incident things that people used to make memes about.
Especially considering, you just mentioned that like offhand, like it was nothing, and it was apparently severe enough that Julian just decides not to sleep anymore.
Oh yeah.
And considering this session is going to go on longer than 24 hours, unlike the human session, like this session is going to go on presumably for multiple full days, at least. Considering the fact that the Trolls session went on for, I believe, a little over a month, that's a pretty significant vow to make, especially since these guys are not going to be that efficient. They're probably going to take more than a month. And Julian is just gonna not sleep for most of that time because of this.
Yeah.
Or at least a significant portion of that time. Something insane and weird will definitely have happened there.
I can stay awake for 24 hours with no side effects.
Quite insane.
Yeah. But first, before we get to the main plot, I have a lot of things to show off today.
Yes.
Oh, we have things.
We
didn't even
do
realize
indeed
we
have
had
things. We have things. Do you two want to guess how many things we have to show off?
I do believe you did mention it.
Okay, if you actually know it, let June guess first.
50. That's a quite a. I know you said
Not
something
that many.
like you have like more things than you think I have, and okay, it's not that many. Like
It's
25.
not 50. It's more than 25, but less
30?
than 50. It's more than 30, and you've used your 3 guesses. Mason, how many do you think?
If I remember correctly, it was 36.
Counted them myself. First off, some... okay. I've got 2 different categories of things here. One of you pick a number, 1 or 2. Or flip a coin if you prefer.
2.
Alright. First off, I will be showing off the sprites. As in the helper character guide people
Oh, yes.
for the various Trollsonas. Now,
Yeah.
each of these sprites, with the exception of one, which I will mention specifically when we get to it, all of these characters have 2 forms, the single prototyped and then double prototyped form. So here we go. I'll go through them in alphabetical order of the troll that they are a guide for. Meaning we start off with Arthur's sprite, otherwise known as Exca sprite. Named so because it is made from the dead body of the excavator troll's boss that Arthur A-Train obliterated.
Nice.
Damn.
In
He
Act
was feeling so inspired after watching the boys, Troll
Indeed.
Boys.
Troll the boys.
Troll. That sounds
Troll
like a
the-
different show.
It's called The Trolls, and Homelander is actually the hero of the story.
Damn. That's wild.
Because it's
That never
Alternia.
happens.
The second form here is Graska Sprite. Prototyped with just some grass. Just some grass that Arthur just pulled up and threw into the goddamn sprite, and it technically counts as something that's dying, because, well, he did rip it up from the ground. That's what happens to plants when you do that. Next up, Cereza's sprites. Costume Sprite and Penny Sprite.
Penny Sprite. I forgot that was what the name was.
Yes. Also, if you're wondering, that sign, I don't remember the exact name of it, but it is a time-bound sign, and I picked it exclusively because it looks like a penis, and I think that's funny.
That is pretty funny.
That is the only reason I picked it. That's it. I will let you in on my creative process, folks. Ha ha.
Funny.
Willy. That was my entire thought process summed up in 2 words. 3 if you want to separate the ha's, but I don't care. Anyway, next. Damasa's sprites. Reactor Sprite and Brick Sprite.
I love Brick.
Look at him.
I love Brick.
Look at this goofy little guy. With the
Oh, yeah,
nuclear
Brick.
reactor antenna things coming out his head. Just a goofy dude. And so very polite. Next, we have Julin's sprites. Mothman sprite and Mothrune sprite.
It's even funnier now because I actually have Mothman.
Hooray! Next, Masson.
He's just sat on my PC.
Next, Masson sprites. Turtle sprite and Frongle sprite. The first one being just a turtle. Turtleless sort of thing. And then the next being Frongus.
Frongus.
Nice.
Frongus.
Next up, Nemona's only sprite form, because we just didn't come up with a really good viable idea for the second prototyping. So here's just Cryo Sprite. And yes, I did just decide, fuck it, it's supposed to be a super cooling artifact, so fuck it, I make it look like cooler Dragon Ball.
Yeah, I thought so. It looks like cooler.
This motherfucker eating beans.
Yeah, I see.
Next.
That's pretty cool.
Yes. Next. Opal sprites. Julassa sprite and Empress Julassa sprite. I still love the fucking chairs.
I love the chairs. The chairs are hilarious.
Goofy looking sat down on the chairs. And then also in motion.
So goofy.
And then also when in motion, might also be considered mildly horrifying.
So here's the
Next.
question. Oh, never mind.
So
I'll
I'll
wait.
Now hit me with the question.
Here's the question I pose. Are they stuck on the chairs?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
They really said, take a seat, and then they said, young Skywalker.
They legitimately... I don't think there's ever been a sprite that can, 100% just fully separate parts of itself at will. And also, they are based on a statue, so the body... The little Julin and Damasa that are sat on the chairs cannot move. They are legitimately statues. The mouths don't move when they talk.
Fair enough.
And finally, Xander's sprites. Triclorp sprite and Trigrub sprite. The second prototyping being one of the dead children.
Yay.
Yo,
Hooray!
one of the dead children. Guys, happy 10th anniversary to Five Nights at Freddy's.
Now that's timing! That's timing on our part. We did a good job. Next. Funnily enough, for the other thing, there are two versions I can show you in one order or another. So, Mason, pick a number 1 or 2, or flip a coin, your choice, or whatever. Just some method of deciding between two options.
2.
All right. I redid the lands.
Ah, yes.
I redid the images of the lands because I wasn't happy with them and they didn't quite look, Homestucky enough. And these ones I will be going through in alphabetical order by the land names. So, first up, the land of cliffs and turtles.
Yeah. Nice.
Masson's land. Next,
Cliffs
the
and
land
Turtles
of...
isn't a giant world turtle. Boo! Get off the stage! Boo! I'm joking. It looks cool.
I would have hoped so. I did figure. Anyway, next.
Joke's on you, I wasn't joking. Get off the...
Anyway. Next,
Get off the stage right now!
The land of frights
sorry, I'll
and
stop.
carnivals. I did not know what to do for the ground for this land, so I decided to take a little influence from the special stages from Sonic 3.
Blue's fair.
I mean,
except
it
Rainbow's
works.
fair.
I like
Yeah.
that.
It's
I like
blue.
that.
It's just the kind of same tessellated ground patterns as you'd see in the Blue Sphere minigame. Next.
I also just like how there's tents big enough to be seen from space.
Oh yeah. And of course there would be hundreds of normal-sized big top tents across this land. There's just a few that would qualify as small nation states, and one that qualifies as a very large nation state.
I assume that's where the boss is.
They're not big tops,
Presumably,
they're large tops.
yes. Indeed, they did absolutely fuck massive tops.
Yeah. This is
Next.
the real turnabout for big top.
Next, the 2 versions of the Land of Frogs and Matrices, both pre and post Forge lighting.
Nice.
Damn.
Next, the Land of Hearth and Hades. Sadly, you can't see much of the Hades bit because it's all underground. But there's the planet itself.
Nice.
Next, the Land of Platinum and Cards. And I wanted to keep the ring motif I had made from the other version, the original version, but not have them be so large. And also I decided, fuck it, we're just putting in multiple different ideas of what card can mean, including a giant gold credit card.
A bat credit card?
So the land is still mostly tarot. The land is still mostly tarot themed, but with other card ideas in there as well, like the suits, which I think makes sense. She loves that, like, troll romance quadrant drama, and also a giant credit card also makes sense because, you know,
money.
Opal, she fucking loves riches and money.
Money.
Okay, so
money.
Next, the Land of Skies, and I misspelt skies here, but it's the Land of Skies and Waterfalls. Thankfully, I don't think I misspelled it in the text on the image.
No, how did
I
you
was going to say,
misspell it?
haha, minus spelling error.
Minor spelling mistake. I actually full on just wrote Skyers on the in the file, in the,
The
file
Land of Skies.
thing.
All of the skies.
Multiple of them, because that's a thing that can definitely happen. Next, the Land of Soft and Silence.
This is Arthur's world.
Yeah, that is very
Yes, this is
Arthur.
Arthur's.
Yeah.
Bland, grey, nothing happened. Yeah, that's very Arthur.
Not what I meant.
God. Bland and Arthur shouldn't be in the same
The bland of soft and silence.
Those fucking words should not be in the same fucking postal code.
No, I meant the sort of the feel of it was very Arthur. The alliteration and the use of the word silence is reminiscent of
Considering
that.
the fact that he came up with the name of it, yeah.
As we all know, Arthur is the only person who uses
Who's
the
ever
word silence.
used the word silence. And and finally, the Land of Traps and Tunnels. Xander's Land. With an added gimmick of gigantic fucking bear traps across the planet.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Big bear trap.
Yeah.
Damn.
The bear in the big trap.
Big the bear trap.
Oh, God. Next, I'm going to do the surface images, which I think... Oh, there's 11 of them. I can't post them all at once. Anyway, I'll just go through them quickly. Land of Cliffs and Turtles. Check that shit out.
Nice.
Damn, no giant turtles.
I'll be real, I didn't bother putting them in. I just couldn't be asked.
I'm having a joke. I'm joshing. Ignore my comments.
Like the first time around, that's not what the land was ever gonna be. This time around, I legit just couldn't be fucked. I couldn't be bothered. I probably legit should have put turtle in there. Just couldn't be fucking bothered.
Yeah, just impose, slap on like a just like a PNG, like a really low quality PNG of a turtle.
Yeah.
Put like a white border around it so it literally looks like a sticker I've just put on it.
Yeah. Slap
Anyway,
that.
next.
Slap that on. Just like a couple like pats.
The Land
and
of
the sticker's
Frights
probably
and
slapped.
Carnivals.
Ooh. I see a
The Reds.
carnival.
Indeed. And the red sky insinuates fright.
Fright.
In some
How
general
frightful.
way. Indeed. Reminds me of It reminds me of Sonic.exe. I don't know. Anyway.
Oh no.
The Land of Frogs and Matrices. Again, both pre and post Forge. I didn't put the Forge in the background on this one. I don't think. Yeah, no, I didn't. But
I like how how the sky becomes a lot more of a solid hue.
Yeah.
Once in the post Forge.
Yeah, because it's very difficult to, in a still 2D image, insinuate warping 4-dimensional space.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult to do.
You try.
I try.
You try.
Anyway, next. The Land of Hearth and Hades. Because alphabet, the Hades version is first here. But you know what I mean.
Very, very nice. I do like.
Very nice. Next. Land of Platinum and Cards. The purple streak there in the sky being the ring around the land. It's generally
I thought that was
flat.
just the. I thought that was just the like from the. That was just the blood of a giant corpse, like how end of Evangelion style.
Also, the big grey bit in the back is just a giant card plateau. It's one of the giant cards you saw on the planet itself earlier.
And there's just a purple
geographical elements. Also, there is just a purple moon. That one, the reason it's purple is funny reference to channel. Because sometimes it doesn't have to be deep. Sometimes, every so often, sometimes the door is just blue. But you have to factor in that it might not be sometimes. Next, the Land of Skies and Waterfalls. This time, the file is named correctly.
Yay.
Yo, let's go. I read that.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
It just looks like the. Did I say in the original that it probably should just look like the 8th dimension from that Minecraft mod?
I don't know if you did or didn't, but that is pretty much what I drew from. Yes.
Cool.
So.
Because that's pretty much what I meant.
Whether the mission was. I just looked up ruins. I just looked up image of ruins. And
I think that is the Parthenon, which also very funny. No.
Oh, well.
No, I find it funny.
It's good. But yes.
I think it's good.
Took me a hot minute to actually figure out, hang on, if I just get an image of a mountain and turn it upside down, that'll work for a floating island. But we got there.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why it took so long. Next, the Land of Soft and Silence.
Ooh.
Very
yeah,
grey.
it looks like a padded cell.
Yeah, very grey, very bland, very padded cell-esque. Precisely what was ordered.
I forget, did Arthur say that everything's like everything is soft, so it is just literally a padded cell?
Now, June. What's the first word? What's the third word in the full name of this thing? What's the first descriptive word of it? Other than just land.
I don't know, I'm blind, I'm afraid. I can't read. I was never taught how to read.
As it so happens, it is soft, so yes.
Damn, that's crazy.
Anyway, next, the Land of Traps and Tunnels. 2 images here. One of the surface and the other of the underground caverns.
Nice.
Welcome to the underground.
I knew you were going to say that.
How was the fall? And finally...
I can't not, Mason.
You had to.
It's in the contract.
Yeah, I believe that's it. There we go.
Ooh.
That's a little video you can check out to see the session in motion.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna check this out.
You two give that a click, have a look at it.
Okay.
See that shit in orbit.
Beautiful.
Love how Durst just disappears.
Yeah, it's very far
because
out.
of the because of the aspect ratio of the video.
Durst got ratioed.
Durst really does get ratioed, particularly
He got
in
ratioed.
terms of how many people are on it.
Durst got ratioed.
Because your boy is so lonely.
Was it by a doctor?
God fucking. God fucking damn it. Anyway.
You're welcome.
And let's scroll down to where we left off. Okay. First off, since it's probably going to factor in the these are different, yeah. Since it's probably going to factor in the different girlfriends' times in the beginning of the session. June.
Mm-hmm.
It is time to decide what the fuck happened on Prospit.
Ah, yes, the Prospit incident.
The Prospit event.
Yeah, I forget. So, like, the guys who are
here.
like the Jack Noir and
well, the Midnight Crew equivalents. We're just gonna call them the Midnight Crew for convenience.
The Midnight Crew, the Midnight Crew, they're from Durst.
They're on Durst. They're dealing with Xander, or more accurately, Xander is kind of dealing with them and their influence right now.
Okay, I'm just trying to like determine their location before I figure out what the incident is.
And without outside interference, without outside interference, they're not going to like try and attack Prospit right off the bat.
Right.
Like, it took the Condas fully taking over for that to even be an option. You know, she had to fully break the way the game worked for that to happen. So,
yeah.
More than likely, for the majority of at least this section of the session, the Midnight Crew are going to be mostly sticking to Durst, and probably will be the closest thing to company Xander has until Masson shows up in his... I believe we decided he was going to be showing up in a flying Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
I believe was the idea we came up with. He, like, fucking alchemized a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah.
It's in my mum's old car. Okay.
And just flew it from basically just next to Skya to the edge of the session.
What colour is the Volkswagen Beetle, if I may inquire?
I also had the idea that effectively the reason Masson doesn't show up on the Durst for a good while is because he effectively like alchemizes like 10 different beetles, all in different colours, and can't decide which one to use.
Yeah.
Because that seems very Masson.
He takes the green one, because that's just funny to me personally.
He takes a green Volkswagen Beetle. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. It's just because that is just literally my mum's old car, and I think it's hilarious.
Why not?
Sure, yeah.
Why not? That's just a thing Masson has from now on. A green
Yep.
Volkswagen Beetle.
Okay.
I don't give a shit about spelling mistakes. So
Volkswagen.
I don't give a shit.
It's an electric car.
It's an electric version of a Volkswagen.
Just don't give a shit. I just don't give a shit right now about how you spell Volkswagen. Failed English, don't care.
Well, it is a German word.
Yeah, fair. I basically failed German too, so...
Damn, Germany.
Anyway. The event. So it's got to be something that at the very least would be catastrophic to Julin. So if it's gonna be, so if it's something personal, it's definitely gonna have to be girlfriend related. If it's not, it's probably gonna have to be pretty fucking big.
Yeah. I mean, is this part of the early game or is this the mid game?
This is the early game. The mid game we're gonna get to once we've got this and what the other three here
so
do.
the Prospit incident happens in early game.
Yeah.
I feel like Neiman's gotta do something. That's just me. But...
That's true, but would he do something to jeopardize his own dreamland? Or his own dream planet? Because Xander is the only one on Durs.
It could be a backfiring.
Oh, like he tries to destroy Durs, just get Xander and this whole mess out of the way, and it just backfires and, like, blasts part of Prospit apart?
Yeah, just like... Ooh, it breaks the chain.
Oh, that's an idea.
Breaks the chain. And I forget, do the players live on the smaller part of the moon, or is it...
I think it's kind of like their dream selves and their dream rooms, so to speak, their personal towers are on Prospit's moon. But I don't think there's anything that says they can't just, like, fly down the chain and hang out on Prospit proper. Okay, so in an attempt to destroy because that makes sense, actually, for Nemina, because Nemina, as soon as he hears, okay, so Prospit, I'm with Prospit, they're the good guys. That means, and Durs are against Prospit, they're the bad guys. I know, I'm just gonna solve this the same way I solve all of my problems, with overwhelming, unrelenting force.
Yeah.
So, in an attempt to destroy Durs...
Bro breaks out the moon cannon.
Nemina has come to make an announcement.
No. Oh no, I realized that a second before you said that.
I'm on Piss Moon!
Bringing it back to Prospiss.
Really bringing it back to the good old nickname of Piss Town.
To the good old days. No. Anyway. Okay. So he breaks. I'm just gonna say as well as. Okay, where's he launching this attack from? Like presumably he's had a design for some kind of super weapon alchemized and constructed.
Yeah, I'd say he's probably trying to do it from his own planet, and then he screws up the align. He screws up the alignment and
well, on his own land, he's underground for most of the time. Anytime he's above ground, he's presumably going to be getting fucked over by either Arthur or Julin, depending on when it is. So I'm thinking he presumably just made the super weapon type thing on Loha and then had it transported to Prospit through some means. Either like a giant transportalizer or just straight up having it flown there in some way.
Either way, he figures out how to get it there.
Yeah,
and then
gets the super weapon to Prospit, but basically, this super weapon backfiring is also going to create a giant crater. Mm-hmm. Is the crater on Prospit or Moon?
I think the crater is right where the chain is on the bigger moon.
So like, you've
And
got
so the-
Prospit. You've got Prospit, crater on Prospit where chain connection point would be, and then Prospit's moon flying along like a big, like, flail, effectively, with the chain still attached.
Yeah. Although I'd like to imagine, like, they start, like, falling out of sync.
Yeah, like, Prospit keeps go. Actually, okay. Here's an idea. Depending on which way the super weapon was fired, and what the directions and alignments are, either Prospit or its moon slow its orbit, and crashes into Skya. The other one has its orbit accelerated, and it flies, and it slowly starts to spiral out from Skya, away from it. And I'm thinking the moon should be what crashes. Prospit itself should, like, slowly spiral outwards until it eventually just smashes into one of the lands.
Ooh.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny if it crashed into Numena's land.
Which presumably will happen. It will presumably, this crashing event will presumably happen or be, like, forced to happen during the bigger battle later on.
If it crashes into the land of soft and silence, will it just bounce off?
It's about to impact, and the
Pinball sound
planet
effect.
just makes a loud boing, and it flies away again.
You say
and it
that.
starts
That would be,
spiraling
like,
back into the session.
It, like,
in a reversed
it bounces
orbit.
off the land. It, like, bounces off the land of soft and silence, and then it starts, like, and, like, it misdirects and, like, goes, like, a slightly further out. I forget, is, like, hold on, I gotta review the little animation again. Dude. Is that? I mean, to be fair, the land of Hearth and Hades is next to the land of Soft and Silence.
So it bounces off the soft and silence into Hearth and Hades.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll discuss
that
we'll
probably
discuss
makes
the end
gravitational
point of where-
sense.
Yeah. We'll discuss what happens with Prospit eventually later.
That sounds like a mid-game problem or late game. I don't know.
That's a mid-game or possibly late to end game problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's regardless of when, it's a future problem. So, also, I'm imagining, okay, Arthur is gonna be freaked out by this because the sun! Why is the sun going away? Because Sky is close enough to the sun. So Arthur's not gonna be happy.
I assume, like, the weapon implodes on itself, which is why, and the weapon was, like, at the base of the chain.
Yeah, the weapon, like, it either implodes or it explodes, or in one way or another it becomes unusable.
Yeah. And it just so happened that, like, Julian or one of the others, like, Julian gets, like, caught in the blast or something, and that kills her dream self or something.
Oh, it just fully kills her dream self. Yeah, that could be interesting. That'll be an interesting problem to try and solve later. That'll be an interesting one to try and figure out, because if Julian's dream self dies, which I'm not against, in fact I think it could be very interesting to solve this problem later, but if it happens, how, like, Julian would need to go to the quest bed inside Prospit to go God tier.
Uh-huh.
A Prospit that is wildly spiraling out of position.
Uh-huh. Yes.
So that's going to be an interesting one. I like it. And hence why she decides not to go to... hence why she decides not to go to sleep, because, well, she's now dreaming in the dream bubbles, and those shits are weird, and I don't like them.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mask escapes the blast in the beetle.
Neil.
All I'm imagining is Masson just flying through fucking just like space on his way to Durst, just chilling, just fucking about, hits the horn, beep, beep, and then hears a gigantic explosion behind him as a significant chunk of Prospit is just detonated.
And then does the friggin' 3-2-1 penguins where he skids to a stop in space and then drives away.
Here's a question I've got. Mm-hmm. Is the crater deep enough that it exposes like the quest beds in the center of the planet?
I'm gonna say no to make it more interesting to solve the problem.
Fair enough. To make figured I'd ask
to
that
make
question.
it, to make it more interesting. I don't know.
Need a bit more.
I'm not even going to mention Xander sees it, but like isn't really affected that much because the man doesn't even really like deeply know what Prospit's about or where it fucking is properly. That could just be a random explosion. It's really far away, and actually he probably wouldn't even see it. Like the explosion itself would probably be blotted out by Skya.
Yeah. Or the asteroid field.
Well, or it would be covered by the fucking furthest string. Either way, he's probably not going to even see the explosion.
No, exactly. Which is why I think it's so fun.
Yeah. So Xander has no idea this shit's going on.
Until he finds out through text later.
Yeah. It's just like... No, he's gonna find out from Masson when he arrives, isn't he?
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be just like...
Dude.
Hey, Xander! Prospit exploded. It what? It... What? What?
Damn.
Anyway,
It exploded.
Nimona, I'm gonna say, would probably... Well, Nimona's dream self kind of has to survive because of the way we already kind of decided how he goes god tier.
Oh, yeah, I imagine he set it
unless
off
he, like,
and then
flies
like...
beeline directly into Prospit, I don't think that would work. But I'm gonna say Nimona... Let's just say, for Nimona, he, like, sets the cannon or whatever to go... and then just leaves so that no one will suspect he was involved.
No, exactly. That's what I was
Julian was investigating it to try and stop the thing from its happening, and then her dream self was caught in the blast and exploded.
Mm-hmm.
And how about the girlfriends? How do our NPCs react to this? All presumably distraught by Julian's apparent death.
Distraught mass confusion.
Mass hysteria.
Mm-hmm. Mass hysteria.
Mass destruction.
Oh yeah. Baby. Sorry.
No, I mean, I set you up for it.
You set me up.
They played us like a damn fiddle.
You slide up.
I can't keep getting away with this.
Also, Damase is very jealous for not being the one to blow Julian up with a malfunctioning super weapon.
I also would like to imagine that Damasa like goes on like an investigation arc of like trying to figure out like what powered this thing, why did it fail, who made this,
and how do I make it better.
How do I make a better version of this so I can blow that motherfucker up?
The egg carrier too was created for this purpose.
Ah!
Lamau.
Boom. But aside from the dream stuff, as we have discussed, what do these three do in the beginnings of their session? So I should actually probably keep the I'll keep the recap up so that I can make sure I know the full entry order. So Cereza is neighbored by Opal and Julin, with Opal being her server player, and her being Julin's server player. So Opal is building stuff for... So basically, Masson is building stuff for Damasa, who's building stuff for Opal, who's building stuff for Cereza, who's building stuff for Julin, who has already pranked the shit out of Nimona by not building him a proper house. Well, for building him a proper house, but not one that works for Spurb.
Yeah.
Right, so let's head backwards along that server chain, starting with Cereza.
Yeah, I imagine Cereza is like building, like she's kind of following the rules of like Spurb, of like, you know, you've got to build upwards. But she's just adding a lot of random things that's just like, oh well, I'm adding this because it makes the house better type beat.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to imagine she probably also does some like exploration of the land of platinum and cards.
Oh no, this is this is Frights and Cards.
Oh, sorry, my mistake.
No, this is Cereza.
I'm thinking about Opal.
Was this all an idea for Opal?
That was an idea for Opal. Ignore that. Oh, sorry, my brain's not on today. My brain is not on.
That's alright.
It's cool. So, Cereza.
So,
do we want to finish this idea for... Also, that's going to have to be...
It's for Cereza, which is even funnier considering they're the...
Considering these two hate each other, but, like, it's a...
No, that makes it even funnier. That makes it
I
even
like to
funnier.
imagine Opal's idea is like, okay, I hate this bitch, but...
No, it's I hate this bitch. I'm going to give her better style.
One, I'm going to give her better style just to flex and dope, because we are still, like, in a relationship, but it's the hate relationship. But also, as well, if Cereza is having a more efficient and effective time, then Julin has a more efficient and effective time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Which works? Question mark. Probably.
Yeah.
Okay, what kind of stuff does she do exploring Lopac?
I imagine Lopac isn't just platinum. I'm sure it's like also other rare minerals and gemstones and stuff.
I'm imagining there are like veins of other rare stuff, but it is primarily, and in almost every like personal view, you're gonna just see platinum. I did actually. Here's another thing.
Like, platinum is as common as rocks.
Yeah, it's as common as dirt here. But I did have an idea.
It's like the retextured diamonds from Arthur's Femboy Cave Dream.
The what?
So you remember
remember the Femboy Cave Dream?
The very first episode I was in. He had his cave with the coal chunks and the diamonds, which were literally just retextured coal chunks.
And there was a femboy in there, and then they went on some dates, and then at one point, and then at the end of the dream, they were like settling down together, and the said femboy said, "Well, come on, you gotta get, undressed, go to bed." And
come to bed.
Getting undressed in front of you.
I'm not taking my shirt off. I'm not fucking without a shirt, and I'm not gay.
Yeah, and then he laughed so hard he woke up.
I forgot about that.
To be fair, there, we just recited that shit as half-remembered visions of a half-remembered vision. This shit is like multiple degrees of separation away. But anyway, something I also
I imagine it's like, instead of it being like pure platinum, it's like everything is coated in platinum.
Real quick, Jim.
So like
a thing I also did was, because it was a long time between these things and we needed a lot of time to get this shit arranged, and obviously we finished Homestuck. We know all of the stuff that was in Homestuck the comic. But once we got to basically around the time when John completed his quest on Loas, and
I forgot his land thing translates to low ass.
Yeah. But when that happened, I figured, okay, I should probably come up with some ideas for land quests here. And I realized something. Also, most of these quests are not going to be completed. Of land quests in all of the sessions, I'm pretty sure Loas's thing was completed, Lofaf's was completed, and I can't remember if any other lands actually had their quests completely fulfilled. And that's it.
Lofaf is
Jade's Land of Frost and Frogs.
Jade's. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. But here's the idea. Here's the idea that I've come up with from just general pattern recognition from, admittedly, a very small sample pool. During the completion of a land's quest, either at the end or at some point beyond the first half, one of the attributes of that planet in its title disappears. Land of Wind and Shade? Lost the shade. Land of Frost and Frogs? Lost the frost.
Lost the frost.
So, my idea is that each of these lands, again, has an element that is removed during its during that completion thing. So, say for Lotat, Land of Traps and Tunnels, remove the traps. Pretty simple. Land of Soft and Silence, bring some noise, activity, joy, remove the silence, Make it... Turn it from padded cell to a giant planet-wide bouncy castle. What?
You're probably right, but I was thinking lose the cliffs, it's just turtles.
Yeah.
Well, it literally becomes what you said, the floating space turtle. But we could genocide the turtles, yes.
I don't know. That's one I've left as question mark. I haven't decided which of those elements to remove yet.
Is literally he has to find all 57 turtles and crush the turtles. He's got to stomp on them. He's got to crush the turtles.
I've got to spend hours of my life stomping Koopas.
But yes, exactly. So Land of Frights and Carnivals, remove the frights. Land of Frogs and Matrices, remove the matrices. As with all space lands, the frogs gotta stay.
Yeah. Land of Half and Hades. Remove Hades?
Remove the Hades. That was the idea.
Or remove the half.
That's the one I've actually got fully, like, thought out as an idea. Basically, it relates to Nimena's redemption arc, and I'm thinking that might be one of the land quests that gets the closest to being completed, if not actually gets completed by the end game. Effectively, Nimena has to, like, heal his land instead of doing what he's been doing up to this point of go in there, Doomslayer style, and kill everything in sight, break everything apart, destroy, because that's what his fucking greater good ideal has sort of taught him. Anything that stands in my way of making this new world must be obliterated. And very much like undoing that sort of Alternian, you have the right to do whatever the fuck you want because your blood is this color idea. That he hasn't that by this point in the story he hasn't examined properly yet, even though he like still knows it's not, like, he's against the Alternian system, but he hasn't examined the way it has changed him and his biases, you know?
Yeah.
And he needs to do that to be able to actually do Sylph things. But you know, his quest is heal the land, calm the deadly flames of Hades, and help the consorts of his land and to come out of hiding and to be able to live properly, because none of them live on the surface, and all of them are none of them live on the surface fully because of the absolutely deadly stuff up there, but none of them can live out in the open in Hades either because of all the deadly shit there. So they're just sort of cooped away in like bunkers and caverns and shit, desperately trying to hide from everything.
Yeah. And
presumably Nimena's thought process when he first comes across them in the early to mid game is, oh, you aren't immediately giving me everything I want? Okay, it's time to do things that I can't talk about on YouTube.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Land of skies and waterfalls, remove the sky. The atmosphere's gone.
No, I was thinking.
Why are you filling the air with? It's my enemy stand.
Anyway, but I was thinking, like, remove the waterfalls, bring these floating islands back down onto the sea.
Right.
Why is Angel Island falling again?
Yeah, because it's less Angel Island, but funnily enough, I think Sonic Unleashed is kind of a good metaphor for it. Except instead of it being chunks of the planet, it's like much, much smaller chunks of the planet. You gotta put this shit back together like a puzzle so people can actually in any way fucking traverse.
An easy jog if the planet weren't broken.
Without having a fucking,
each land,
grappling
each, like,
hook
piece
or
of
flight.
Each piece of land has like a little like thing that you gotta like beat, and like it like pushes the land into the sea.
Yeah. Or it's basically like a big puzzle. Because light, it's knowledge, it's, light is knowledge, it's all this stuff, and luck as well. But for this, it's the knowledge portion as an air of light. You have to solve a literal puzzle. Like a 3D jigsaw puzzle.
It's just a bunch of Zelda dungeons.
It's a bunch of Zelda dungeons, exactly. And each of these little pieces has their own puzzles in them, and you gotta solve the puzzle to be able to put that shit back.
About to be over here like da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, and for like each piece as well, probably there'd have to be some sort of like time between I've solved the puzzle and the thing is going down back into place. Otherwise, you solve the first puzzle, and now Julian is like 10 miles below all of the other fucking things and can't get to them, and so she just sits here forever. So it'll probably there's also probably like a Super Metroid almost fucking escape sequence of like, okay, you've solved the puzzle, get the fuck out so you can go and do anything else.
Save the animals.
So also save the animals. That would also be helpful as well. There's like consorts around on each of these like little pieces, and obviously if they come together and can build a better society for themselves, or like a village or anything, they're gonna end up getting better trades, better things they can give to you. Because, you know, gamify it a little bit, because Spurb is an adventure game. Gamify it a little bit. There's got to be something in it for you. If
their lives
if
are
not,
like a video game,
even if it's just like effectively the warm and fuzzies of, oh, I managed to save so many people, you know?
Yeah.
But that's ideas for those. So yeah, I'm thinking, regardless
so land of platinum and cards, remove the platinum. Yeah, for low pack, it's remove the platinum. Reason being, none of the consorts can grow anything. Yeah, it's like a curse on the land. You can't grow anything in like full, like potentially meters thick metal. Yeah. So, yeah. So all of the consorts are gonna go hungry. I don't know if they die of starvation effectively. I don't know if the consorts can die of natural causes such as that. But for the sake of this, I'm gonna say no, they don't. They're just constantly really fucking hungry. Damn. So it also they've really been playing Fear and Hunger. Yeah, so it also plays in to Opal's like greed, effectively, because that's her main character trait that we're playing on for Lopak, is her like, you know, need to have the glitz and glamour and everything, and only like hand out to her favorite people. So it kind of, you know, something to lean her more towards charitability a little bit. Anyway, so back to the main document. Opal exploring Lopak. Yeah, she like explores Lopak and she's like, oh wow, this is really cool. And then you just see starving people. All the consorts are like gone as hell. And it'd be funny. Also explores Lopak and loves it at first, completely ignoring all the starving consorts begging for food. Okay. Yeah, she also is like she's like collecting all like a bunch of like gemstones so she can like have like a tea party or something. Okay, but what kind of stuff would Opal alchemize, do we think? What kind of shit would she put together? She would just alchemize a bunch of like, she'd like take some of the gemstones and just like make new clothes, like ruby dress, like her like weapon for the majority of the game is like just she has platinum. Heal kinds. She has heal kind as well. Platinum heals. Yeah. Yeah. She walks around in the metal on the earth she walks on, which I think is kind of funny. Okay. Here's an idea, though. They're still called the Platinum Heals, but she effectively somehow manages to alchemize together, potentially with a little helping hand code from Xander. Gun heals. They're still called the Platinum Heals. It's a Bayonetta reference. Creating Platinum Heals, yeah, like Platinum Games.
Yep.
That's the reference, yes.
Don't fuck with a witch.
She is a witch of heart. We did make Bayonetta here, is what we did.
What we did is we made Bayonetta.
Except she's also, does not care about literally anybody. Full stop in any way. Actually,
yeah.
You know what? Fuck it. We have just made Bayonetta.
Bayonetta!
We made Bayonetta if we don't read any deeper into her story.
We made Bayonetta 2.
We've made surface level Bayonetta. A surface level reading of Bayonetta.
It's like the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Spirit Bayonetta 2.
Yeah. So, which of the girlfriends next?
We'll do Teresa. So, like, I feel like Cereza just, like, when it comes to, like building the house, she just, like, kind of, like, builds it up really quickly. Like, it's like, oh, got new grist, add more bits onto, like, but it's not like she's, like, building an extra part of the house. It's literally just a stairway.
I was about to say, is Julian's house in the game, unlike the other houses where it's like, here's a room on top of the room, here's another room, here's another room, here's another room, is Julian's house effectively just like the bit she came in with, and then effectively like almost a conservatory that is just a really long pillar with a spiral staircase in it?
Yeah. It is literally just an unsafe staircase with no railings, because I think that's hilarious.
OSHA violation.
Exactly. Cereza would violate OSHA regulation.
OSHA suggestions.
Remember, this is not Damasa. I want to remind you, you've made the mistake of getting these guys confused earlier today.
No. Damasa will also breaks OSHA violations. They both would.
Okay, here's what it is. Here's the difference. Cereza accidentally not realizing it's particularly dangerous.
Oh no, exactly.
Spiral staircase just because it's a quick way up. Damasa makes staircases with Home Alone traps in them on purpose.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. It's like,
since it's for Opal, she doesn't do that because Opal is not her kismesis.
Also, I'd like to say it's ironic that Opal is the one who's become Bayonetta instead of Cereza.
Yeah, no, I'm aware. I am aware.
Perhaps that's why you got confused.
Maybe.
Who is to say?
Who is to say?
And what does she do on her land? In the land of frights and carnivals? If anything, because I wouldn't be surprised if she just hunkered down in her house and just refused to leave for a good while.
Probably. Yeah, honestly, probably hunkers down, pretty much plays the game as tower defense. The defense being of her house. If that makes any sense.
Also, some of the underlings are gonna look like her scare actor costumes, so there are gonna be killer clowns outside her house.
Oh,
so yeah,
it's just
in
like
the land of frights and carnivals,
all over again.
She's going to be very upset.
Mm-hmm. That's why I say literally just beating up. Just tower defense.
And what kind of alchemy does she do? And I believe her weapon is shears that she can pull apart to make 2 swords.
Yeah, I feel like
if
it's
she
a lot of
bothers to do any alchemy instead of just stay put, don't care, just kill these things.
I feel like she just picks up stuff off of the monsters. A lot of the monsters just grab random things. Yeah, kind of like how horror movie monsters just grab random things for random quote unquote iconic kills. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of slasher flicks. They make me queasy.
Yeah, I don't particularly enjoy horror films either. The only horror film I've watched is The Shining.
I mean, at least it's a good one.
Yeah, that's why it's the only one I've watched. Because it's not just jump scares and gore. It's actually unsettling.
Okay, so
is there gore in The Shining? I assume there is, but I don't know.
I think a little bit, but it's more the conceptual,
mental,
psychological. That's
horror.
what I was looking for.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. So instead,
it is a film that's on my bucket list.
So, one of the things Cereza does during her fighting with these underlings is just picking up random objects that they drop and just hurling them out of her inventory at them.
Oh no! I was gonna say
because she can't pick them up and use them as weapons. That's not how Strife specimens.
No. I was gonna say turning them into weapons.
Oh, so just okay.
She one of them has a meat cleaver or something, and she catalogs it and then alchemizes it into a
yeah, a cleaver shears almost.
Yeah.
All right, and finally, our favorite mad scientist girl. What does Damasa do?
Because it's Opal, I imagine she builds a really
because Damasa and Opal are, I believe we said they were mate splits.
Yes. So Damasa actually tries to make a good house, a good tower, although it does hinge on. It does lean slightly towards something similar to how Jade's house looks at the beginning of Homestuck. In that it's just a massive tower with a bunch of offshoot mad scientist labs.
Damasa spends a lot of time trying to make the greatest, most beautiful house she can for Opal. Unfortunately, Opal and Damasa have 2 very different ideas of beauty and decor.
Yeah. And then for actual... Oh, sorry. I'll wait.
Just wanted to clarify that to distinguish it from Julian's beautiful house for Nemina that is 2 stories tall.
It's a 2-story McMansion.
It's a 2-story McMansion that does not in any way help him. Damasa's house for Opal, however, Damasa would describe it as the most beautiful house anyone could live in, and it is also very functional for Spurb. Most other people would describe it as questionably legal under any and all forms of law and order anywhere.
Yeah.
This is the kind of shit that if they were still on Alternia somehow and the Condas caught whiff of it, both Opal and Damasa would be put to death. Damasa's just like, I don't have any law enforcement to stop me. I can take the limiters off.
Yeah.
And just makes like, here's an experimental antimatter reactor in the back corner. Isn't it lovely? And Opal's just like, Damasa,
that's great.
That's great, honey. Damasa, if this thing explodes, will I die? Probably, but isn't it beautiful? Damasa, please give me a more unexplodey power source, please.
Do you want to explode?
I am begging you. like Opal is very gentle about it, but she does not want the antimatter reactor in her living room. Can it please, at the very least, go in another room? And Damasa goes, fine, and puts it in the kitchen. Anyway.
In terms of actual, like, Spurb playing, I imagine a lot of it is, like, getting very turned around because of the four-dimensional stuff.
Like, again, I couldn't really show it much in the image, but Damasa's land is, like, twisting in ways that shouldn't even be possible. In certain areas, the ground, like, goes upwards and is still ground, and then is upside down and is still ground, and she can just Sonic 06 stand on the underside of this loop. Kind of thing. Like space and time don't work. Well, time works fine. Space doesn't work properly on this land in a way that anyone would traditionally expect it to.
Mm-hmm. And, like, I assume that, and so, like, I feel like Damasa, out of the three girlfriends at least, would be like the one who goes and figures and tries to actually fix her land so things make actual sense.
I'd say, Damasa is the one who spends the most time working on her planet's quest in the early game.
In the early game, that's what I mean. Trying to make things, like, actually understandable and not just...
Because that's the thing. Once she lights the forge and the matrices collapse into just the desert, Damasa is not gonna bother with her quest beyond that point. It's gonna be, okay, my land makes sense now? Okay, frogs? Why do I need to get frogs? Why should I give a shit about some frogs? Who cares?
Just start to
barred the shit out of her quest. No, she just gets them as test subjects. It's like her denizens just like, yes, there are frogs across this land. You will need them to complete your quest. And Damasa's just like, sure. Okay. And in the back of her mind, she's just like, yes. Live test subjects.
And Brick is like, please stop putting guns on the frogs.
Brick's just like, boss, I know you love this job. Boss,
I understand you love what you do, but we need the frogs.
I love what you do, you love what you do. We do need those frogs to complete the game. And it's just like, Brick, my sweet little angel.
Shoosh.
Shh.
They're putting guns in the water, it's making the freaking frogs lethal.
Put guns in the sand and the frogs are dead.
I don't like them putting guns on the frogs. Right. In terms of like, the alchemy is literally just like, she like develop, like in those like old like weird Sonic sprite edit things where like they'd have the animations and one of those like Sonic things would just have like the big gun that shoots the massive laser.
Oh yeah. Like it's fully just the Marvel vs. Capcom Iron Man fucking gun.
Yes.
It's that shit.
I forgot where it was originally from, but that. Right. I'll be back in like a couple minutes.
Okay.
And because it is technically a ray gun, it's just a ray gun that's about 3 times the size of a human being. But it is a ray gun, so she can use it.
That's a ray gun.
It's very good. That's a shit. It's a ray gun. But yeah, this shit is the Geneva checklist. That is what Demacia is doing here. But now, it is time for the mid-game. Actually, I'll wait till June gets back and see if there were any other things we wanted to add into the early game, and just kind of go back over it all. Alright, so let's just go over everything and see if there's anything else we want to just add as extra little things for the early game. So, Xander builds a full perimeter around his cavern to keep the Wigglers from wandering into traps. Makes a few upgraded shotguns, one of which can deal way more damage, but the more damage he tries to make it deal, the more lag it has. Also has a scouter computer, which has the additional benefit of letting him focus his eye-beams on a really small point. While on Durst desperately tries to seek some kind of company, he does not find any. When Xander makes it to Arthur's land through his gate, he realizes that he's left his kids alone. Out of desperation, he asks Arthur for help, since Arthur can already fly. About 20 Wigglers die before they reach the land of Soft and Silence. Julian starts killing monsters as a hobby, while also trying to navigate from island to island. Makes some upgraded metal pipes, e.g. Platinum Pipe, Relic Pipe, as well as high jump boots. Very quickly can start playing music by rapidly switching from pipe to pipe as she beats something to death. Keeps spawning new Mothman plushies, but dropping them in the sea. While Nimine is in Hades, Julian builds him a nice mansion. I removed the line about something weird happens, decides not to sleep anymore, because that's
in the general now.
Later. That's in the general bit, yeah. Arthur is ordered to test the alchemy system by Nimina and makes a bunch of actual garbage. He's effectively used as a canary in the mine to test every system in the game, from combat to alchemy to building. Stares into Skye almost constantly while on Prospect. Arthur is the first one to reach his first and second gates. Nimina spends a lot of his time trying to get the fuck out of Hades. All of his alchemy is to make upgraded weapons and armor, as well as inventing cheesing tactics. When he finally makes it back to the hearth, he finds that the house Julian built him is useless. He begins building a tower up to his gate by hand. Then Arthur flies through his second gate, crashing through the tower, destroying it. After ordering Arthur to test all the game's systems, and after Nimina has dealt with various problems on his end, he accidentally lets the sun mask slip, giving Arthur a simple order to go through his gate. He corrects this swiftly, but this leads to Arthur doubting the sun just a little. While on Prospect, Nimina just fucking cries. He hates it here, he hates it so much. The super weapon, again referenced later. Presumably, he also... the super weapon incident is one of the problems he deals with on his end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but he probably keeps that in the back until... I imagine the laser thing doesn't happen until, like, the final act of the early game.
Like, near the end of it.
Yeah, like, the reveal of the laser, anyway.
Yeah, and then, of course, Damaso isn't going to figure out that Nimona is the one who built it until a certain point in the mid-game.
Yeah, exactly.
Masson spends his time exploring his land and interacting with his consorts. For lack of a better term, he just sort of mills around. Keeps accidentally killing consorts, has to travel from village to village. Makes a few upgraded maces, as well as upgrades to his furniture and other tools for comfortable living. Is constantly pissing off Xander and Damaso with his dawdling. On Prospit, Masson is the friendliest guy. When he realizes Xander isn't on Prospit, he alchemizes a bunch of random shit together to fly over to Durs to meet him. Also alchemizes a green Volkswagen Beetle. I corrected the spelling while
Yeah.
we were gone. Shut up. Cereza works quickly in adding height to Julian's house. Instead of adding more rooms, Cereza makes Julian's house a precarious spiral staircase upwards. Upon seeing her land, Cereza decides to stay inside and not explore for a while, instead devoting her time to protecting her house from the underlings swarming around it. Most of her fighting involves capture logging random things the underlings have and ejecting those items at her enemies. She also uses these items as alchemy components, creating a variety of different shears. Opal, generally working with the rules of Spurb, building Cereza's house upwards, but also occasionally adding various upgrades to the house and equipment to help Cereza in a more general sense. Also explores Lopak, and loves it at first, completely ignoring all the starving consorts begging for food. She collects up a bunch of gems and other precious materials for a huge party. Most of her alchemy involves creating new fashion pieces for herself, as well as creating platinum heals, as well as versions of them with guns in the heels. And because those are borrowed from, that's a code presumably borrowed from Xander, they're not just going to be pistols, they're going to be full fucking shotguns in the heels, meaning she can probably, if she really wanted to, sort of fly, technically, through kind of video game rules of just effectively using the backblast from her own shotgun blasts from her heels.
She's a force of nature.
Yeah, she basically force of natures her way around.
Yeah. I imagine she just has like all of the weapons, and it's a bunch of different types of ray gun, so she just hot swaps between them, like, and just
this is Opal. We're talking Opal.
Oh,
she's
sorry.
Using the shotgun heels. You got confused again.
I got confused. I'm sorry. My brain turned off.
Bro, these are your girlfriends. How are you getting confused, man? Maybe. Damn, you gotta go quadrant counseling, bro.
Look, it's been a long day.
Anyway, Damaso spends a lot of time. Damaso spends a lot of time trying to make the greatest, most beautiful house she can for Opal. Unfortunately, Opal and Damaso have two very different ideas of beauty in decor. The house is still usable for Spurb, however. She spends most of her land exploring time getting lost or turned around, so she spends the most time working on her planet's quest. Most of her alchemy involves creating things to defy all codes of warfare. This shit is the Geneva checklist. She also specifically makes the Marvel vs. Capcom Iron Man cannon.
Yeah, the reason I was saying that was because you were saying stuff, and then I looked up at the screen and I saw the Marvel vs. Capcom Iron Man cannon, and my brain immediately went, she runs around with a bunch of different ray guns.
Oh yeah, no, she does definitely run around with a whole bunch of different guns. Probably some alchemy components also borrowed from Xander, so instead of being a precise beam, it's now a fucking, just a full flashlight ray, but it kills you.
I imagine she also makes a ray gun shotgun.
Also, that's what I'm talking about. Also, she does definitely offer up every single, different ray guns code to Opal for her to make different heal guns out of. Because, Damaso, I'm thinking, is, about just as obsessive with her different, with her different quadrant relationships as Julin is.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the reasons why Julin and Damasa are the ones Opal has the, like, positive quadrant relationships with. Because Opal just really does seem like she wants to be the center of the universe a little bit. And Julin and Damasa give her that willingly.
Yeah.
And then when the two of them meet, it literally becomes a fucking absolute shit show, and several hundred people die as collateral. General points: in an attempt to destroy Durs, Nemina accidentally breaks the chain between Prospit and its moon, as well as forming a massive crater on Prospit. Prospit's moon falls out of orbit, smashing into Skya, while Prospit itself is flung into a faster orbit, spiraling out towards the lands. Arthur starts freaking out as the sun moves away, thus also presumably, you know, working more into that earlier insecurity in that sun idea, thus turning him away from it even further. Clever. Julin's dream self dies, Masson escapes the blast in the beetle. Nemina was away from the super weapon when it went off, and Cereza, Opal, and Damasa are distraught and confused, with Damasa also being very jealous for not being the one to do it. Damasa goes into full detective mode, trying to figure out everything about this weapon, particularly who built it. Do we have anything we want to add, or is it time to move on to the mid-game?
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be like some other event that happens in early game, like in general, like something that happens like, because like the Prospect incident is definitely at the end.
It's a very big, yeah. I feel like I feel like earlier on, everyone else's individual problems meshing around each other kind of works to fill that sort of void, and it is sort of the introduction to everything.
Okay, fair enough.
That's going on, and the eventful stuff's coming up. The big events coming up. I was thinking more like small little, like any extra tidbits we want to add, because I feel like we've got a very good like outline so far. With quite a bit of fleshing out. It's just a bit of like, do we have any other little funny bits that we think would work here, or little extra bits we want to be factored in later?
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, not that I can think of, really.
Fair enough, Ski. Then it is time for the mid-game. So, this is the bit where a lot of this shit was gonna go down. A lot of things discussed earlier are gonna happen here. I've gotta get into the fucking sprites for the different characters, because this is where a lot of them are gonna actually be revealed to you guys again. Because as I have been doing for a lot of this, I'm gonna be revealing different like character sprites in different states as they become relevant and as they are introduced into the story. And a lot, literally, there's only 2 that don't get introduced here, I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
There's only 2 different like ones for that, and we'll see those later. But who should we start with, do we think? My thought, personally, is potentially starting with Arthur here.
Okay.
Considering the mid-game does, for a lot of it, kind of revolve around Arthur's story. This is like his moment, kind of. But we'll start with... That's the first thing we got to establish.
Whew.
Bit edgy, but I mean, it was always going to be edgy. It's grimdark. And speaking of, we now have a 37th thing.
Ah, boy.
Oh.
Grimdark Arthur Pendra.
I wish Arthur was here to see this.
Damn,
Yeah.
real. Would have been good to have
Grimdartha. Grimdartha.
Yeah, I'd give it a 5 out of 10. I'd give that one a 5 out of 10.
Better than I usually get.
Well, better than you usually get, Mason. Bruh. Anyway, welcome back everyone to bullying. 'Tis what we do here.
Welcome back. We never left.
We never left. But yeah, I think that's the first thing we got to establish. We can come back to Arthur, I think, after this point. So, the events that we have previously established, I believe the only one we originally established was the ones we have established. 1, Arthur goes grimdark. That was the thing that was already decided because of various different things throughout the channel lore. But point 1, Arthur goes grimdark. Done. Second point, at some point, presumably near the end of the mid-game, at least in terms of its more... as the sort of big event for the mid-game. Not necessarily near the end, I think it's probably about the middle of the mid-game, if not a little earlier, potentially. But most of the mid-game sort of revolves around the fight between Nimona and everyone else.
Yeah.
So, that's a point that's got to be hit. That's point 2 that's got to be hit. And point 3, I believe we decided this, everyone goes God tier. During this general span of time. And there were some other things we've kind of sort of discussed off camera between when we decided on these things originally and now.
Yeah.
So, some other things that I put in the notes here that are events that we are gonna kind of try and hit is Grimdark Arthur versus Xander and Masson. And then also Nimona versus Julin and Damasa.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, I think next thing we do, I think Xander and Masson meeting up on Durs.
Yeah.
After the thing goes kaboom.
Yeah. The Act 3 of our story? The beginning of Act 3 of our story, I guess?
I suppose. Oh, no, wait.
Well, if Act 1 is everyone is like the pre-entry
I'd say
stuff.
Act 1... Yeah, Act 1 would be like pre-entry and like the earliest portions of entry. Act 2 would be... I'd say the rest of entry and then a bit of the early game. And then Act 3 would pretty much be the rest of the early game. And I'd say Act 3 would probably end at the battle, like right after the battle, and then Act 4 would sort of start as everyone's going God tier.
Yeah.
If we were to split it up in kind of a similar format as the comic.
Okay.
As the original comic. So I'd say the Prospit event would kind of be like the inciting incident for Act 3.
Right.
Or like one of the everything starting to be absolutely fucky thing for Act 3. So the literal starting gun. Except it blew up. But, you know, the starting bomb, I guess. Even though no one thought it was going to be a bomb. So,
no one ever thinks it was going to be a bomb.
No one ever thinks it's going to be a bomb.
That dog's a bomb. Everything's a bomb. Even my words are bombs.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna put
one reference.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this up here so it kind of looks like, I don't know. This is an act that's going to be so sort of intermingled that it's gonna kind of be difficult to format it properly in this way. But I also don't want to write just like 25 paragraphs.
Fair.
Just like in a row. So.
And tells them about the Prosperous incident.
I'm thinking, because neither of these two are actually in on Nimena's plan there, neither of them knew about this.
Yeah.
And both of them know, okay, especially Xander, both of them know, okay, Arthur is chaotic as hell, and just seems to love destroying things. So I'm thinking...
Ah.
Neither of them know about, like, fully about the sun and all the trickery involved in that. So I think both of them kind of believe that Arthur is 100% like die-hard loyal to Nimena. Would do anything for Nimena, specifically. Since neither of them know about the whole, oh, I'm the sun, you believe me, yes? So, I'm thinking the pair of them just kind of, like, agree, hey, when we wake up in our, like, actual bodies, we meet up, we gotta do something about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've set up there the fight between Grimdark Arthur and Xander and Masson. And they can't really even explain the issue to each other, because Arthur is just blind, one, full of blind rage, and two, he's in the Grimdark trance. He can't speak normal languages.
Yeah.
There was a thing about that trance. Arthur now can no longer speak Alternian. He can't communicate with them.
Communication is impossible.
Exactly. At least at this stage.
Yeah.
Because Xander is already on Losas as well. So he can technically just make his way along a similar path to what Arthur made and track him down on Nemena's land. Meanwhile, Nemena has made his way onto the next step. For himself, Julin's land. Speaking of Julin. So
yeah.
What's Julin doing in a more immediate sense after the Prospit incident?
After the Prospit incident,
and after her dream self dies.
I feel like she would be like, quote unquote, like knocked out for like a significant portion of time. Of just the like not even registering that like she's like even alive.
Oh, I see. So, yeah.
Instead of like waking up immediately.
I'm thinking Julin knows it was Nemena. Because she was at the epicenter.
Oh, yeah.
Julin knows, from the brief flash she had of the device before it fucking backfired and exploded, Julin knows. And I'm assuming Julin, here's my thought process. Julin will have the same kind of thought process that Xander and Masson did of, these guys need to be stopped.
Yeah.
But Julin knows Nemena did this thing. So Julin goes, okay, we need to stop Nemena. But I know Nemena's powerful. I need the most destructive person I can get my hands on. And Arthur's out of the picture because he's probably still, working on them. Again, doesn't know about the sun thing properly. So, who's the most destructive person Julin knows?
Damasa, of course.
Her hate girlfriend, of course.
Yeah. I think it would also just be really, I don't know. Funny, I guess, if like Julin, before going to Damasa, is like trying to like raise her own power first, just in case Damasa is like, I challenge you to a duel if you want my help. Not a duel, but you know what I mean.
Damasa would go for a fight to the death because Damasa is so over dramatic about Kismisitude's stuff. Just so over the top. It's why the two of them work together in this thing, because Julin is also very over the top, just in general.
Yeah. But like during that, this will be more for Damasa later, but like Damasa also figures out that Nemena is the one who set off the cannon, the orbital laser.
I'm imagining Julin gets done with her training arc at the same time Damasa reaches this epiphany, and so they both message each other at the same time with the exact same message.
Of
like,
yes.
Nimena's the one who blew up Prospit. Do you want to help me kill him? And it's both of them send that message at the exact same time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And,
Yeah.
and just, to emphasize the point, I just copy and paste this. Boom. Okay, so. My thought is, with Nimena, font's too big here. Weird. Okay. So, reason he goes for Damasa and Julian first. One, Damasa knows. And two, as far as he's aware, if he kills Julian, gone for good. No way back. No dream self, no revive. No one knows about God tier yet.
Mm-hmm.
As far as
Does
he's
he
aware,
know about God
if
tier?
he can kill... No.
Ah. Gotcha.
My thought process is, at this point in the story, nobody's found any quest beds yet. Nobody knows what God tier is because nobody's ever mentioned it. Nope. No knowledge of it. As far as Neiman is aware, if he can kill Julian one more time, dead for good. Never coming back. Never have to deal with this problem again. Everyone else, if there's anyone left alive, that motherfucker could come back. With everyone else, if say, you know, Xander dies, and Masson dies, and Arthur dies, but say Opal is still alive, Opal can revive all three of them with the kiss thing. Julian wouldn't be happy about it, but it is technically a thing that can happen, and it would work. And it is a known thing. This is a more basic mechanic of the game that, you know, is known about. But if Julian's dead, doesn't matter how much Damasa tries to make out with the corpse, it's not coming back up. She's dead forever.
Yeah.
So an easy target and the easiest target and the biggest intellectual threat are right there, easy pickings. And Arthur, Xander, and Masson, considering the levels of power they're all at, it is entirely possible that Xander and Masson versus Arthur could end in a stalemate with all three of them killing each other. As far as Neiman is aware, all three of these people could wipe each other out.
Yeah.
So, and then Cereza and Opal, we don't know what they're actually doing yet because we haven't actually discussed what they're going to be doing in this time. I think we should do that. So, what are Cereza and Opal up to? Because they weren't involved in this investigation, and they don't know anything about, like, what happened. They have no idea about what happened with the Prospect event. All they know is Julin died. They don't know why it happened, and they have no reason to point fingers at Arthur either. So, I don't think they're quite involved in the fights yet. So for right now, they're effectively doing their own silly bullshit, not realizing that everything is heating up. But what are they doing? What kind of stuff are they doing in this phase of the act?
If I had to guess... I said guess like I'm like trying to divine what they're doing.
Why not? Funny. May as well.
If
I had to use my powers as the rogue of light, because you are the rogue and Julin is an heir instead, because you got tied, so we just sort of split that across. But if I had to use my powers of divination,
if I had to,
as a light-bound individual,
yes. I think Cereza, because like it would, all of them would have got together on Prospect. So obviously seeing what happened, probably would not go back into the dream for a short while. Because what if it blows up again? And instead tries to, like, I guess, I don't know, I'm trying to think.
I'm thinking Cereza during this phase, I'm thinking she'd probably start making her way across her land a little bit. Like, it takes her a lot more time than everyone else, but she does have to explore at some point, and that becomes painfully clear. So I'm thinking Cereza at this point is taking her first sort of baby steps into the land of frights and carnivals.
And there's just some guy who like looks like he's straight out ICP, like, welcome to my carnival of madness, motherfucker. That's the main boss, actually. The main boss is...
No. Well, the main boss would be the Denizen, and the Denizen isn't going to appear for a good while. That sounds more like what fucking Penny Sprite is going to be fucking talking about.
No, Penny Sprite's doing
Penny
that.
Sprite is going to love this place.
What I was going to say was, the Denizen, because I forgot the name. The Denizen is just like, a big monster that also just kind of slightly resembles what's it, like the main guy from Insane Clown Posse. Because I think it'd be funny.
I see. Yeah, why not? But that shall come later.
Yeah.
Okay. And Opal.
I think might be the most distraught over the incident. Because it's like, you ruined my tea party. My tea party's ruined. No.
Also, my girlfriend is dead.
Yeah.
Also,
that
my
too.
Moira's dead, so that does also ruin things a lot.
Yeah, that too. That one too. That too. That's a minor detail, but you know, that too. Minor detail, but okay. Yeah, so that occurs. And like while she's doing that, I imagine like her Julasa sprite in whatever state it's in. I assume Empress by this point.
It'll be Empress by this point, yeah. By the end of early game, all of the sprites have hit their double prototype state.
Yeah. Julasa's sprite is like, please, I beg of you, do your quest. You are getting worked up over something that does not matter. And so, like, the other half of Opal's act of the mid game is
at least up until the big fight.
At least up until the big fight is her doing her quest, as well as probably a bit of faffing around with trying to think, who would she faff around with?
Because, like,
she's probably just messaging someone about her problems, probably Damasa, and Damasa's like, yeah, okay, I'm trying to figure this out, please, I need to concentrate. Which Damasa like dismisses, I guess. It's like, yeah, we've got more important things though. You should get over it. Which like kind of like
and that's the thing.
Because she's so used to
that
being...
also very. Yeah, because like that's the thing. Damasa for most of the time when it comes to Opal, like Damasa might unironically call Opal my queen and like kiss her feet and shit. It kind of gets weird, honestly. But Opal is a bit of a fucking narcissist, so she loves it.
Yeah.
During this phase, as Damasa is obsessively investigating this and trying to figure out what it is, what's going on and what happened, Damasa is like uncharacteristically like, yeah, cool, whatever. I'm busy here. So Opal kind of retreats into herself, I'm thinking. Here's another thing. I'm gonna put this in general. basically, it's sort of to give Cereza and Opal effectively a thing to do while the fights are going on.
Right.
Because they're not involved in the two other fights. The two big fights before the big fight. And so they kind of get a little bit of, like, time to interact with each other, and effectively they have that time to get shit off their chest and incidentally pump each other up for the big fight against Nemina, which no one's really planned at all, but that's, you know. It adds something there, and also we get a bit of fun of seeing both pairs of Kismesises bickering and arguing with each other and like fighting alongside each other as well. Just two different very different kinds of fights, because one of them is we're fighting alongside each other to kill that motherfucker, and then it's we're fighting alongside each other to take care of these fucking infants on this oh my god, it's so difficult. They would keep nearly getting killed if it weren't for the fucking springy ground, but we've still got to keep them together because all the kids are on Losas now. Yeah. So we've got to like keep them together, and you know, like some of them are like still fucking like scuttling around like insects. A couple of them have nearly finished pupation. Like some of them are nearly like bipedal now. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, how do we deal with this?
How has Xander dealt with this?
How do these Jade Bloods manage?
And the answer is they don't. Xander is just...
The answer is they don't. Xander's just built different. Hard cut to Xander and Masson going to go fight Arthur, and Trigrub Sprites just there like, Dad, why aren't I growing? I'll answer later, son. Maybe when you're older. I don't know.
I'll tell you when you're older. See me never?
Yes. And Xander's just got his head in his hands. Xander is just gonna have the worst time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to enjoy making it happen.
Xander really is the nuts Berkman of this.
And then Masson is there with fucking Frongel Sprites. Frongel Sprites just like, man, this guy seems to be having a real awful time. Masson's just like, yeah, he really is, bro. This is weird. I'm not comfortable with this. anyway, dap me up, Dad.
I don't know that there's anything we can do about it, but it was cool hanging.
And again, anyway, dap me up, Dad.
It really is just the look, Pim. I know we said we'd help this guy, but I'm really starting to think he's a lost goal here. I think we cut our losses and run.
We nearly had a spit take there. It was off by like half a second, but we nearly had it.
That was not. Damn.
On my end.
Over me and my
I don't know why I was laughing that hard at it, but I did.
Over me and my subpar Charlie impression.
I mean, I knew what was going on. That's why I thought it was funny. Right. Oh boy. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the Arthur versus Xander and Masson fight in Masson's section here.
Okay.
I mean, we need to decide what else Masson is doing.
Well, it's basically the same thing Xander's doing.
It's basically, we've already accounted
basically
for
just
that.
the same. Okay, fair enough.
Up in Xander, he arrives at Durst.
Fair enough.
They both become troubled by the
which is good because it absolves me of the necessity to come up with things to happen, which is good because I'm not good at coming up with things to happen.
Can't relate.
Anyway. Oh, me when not thinking. Hooray. So.
Can't relate.
Okay, so I believe, yeah, they'd be meeting on Loha. Yeah. So we can get a nice dynamic... So with them, we can very much get this sort of like really dynamic battlefield going on as well.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the fight with Nimona would probably be happening on Losor as well. So we've got fighting across like these floating islands as well, using different all these different things. Because Nimona would also have like a method of traversal between the islands, because he would have made a method of traversal through Hades.
Yeah.
And I mean, a grappling hook's a grappling hook, no matter where it's for. So we get these two really dynamic battlefields going on here. I like this.
Nice.
Because Arthur is very much not working with Nimona anymore. If they could communicate and Arthur wasn't just like breaking things out of just pure unbridled fury, the two sides would easily be able to realize, both sides would go, I'm not working with Nimona. I'm also not working with Nimona. I want him dead. I also want him dead. Sick. But because these barriers are in the way of their communication, that's not going to happen. That just isn't gonna happen. So
tragic.
Indeed. So
What?
I heard that snicker there, Jim. I heard that.
A massive power what, Jim?
I found something. It is tangentially related to Homestuck.
Oh, I thought you were laughing about the fact that I wrote Arthur has a massive and then other words afterwards. What did you find? Share with the class.
I quickly looked. Dear viewers at home, I hope you are aware of the Muppet Joker.
Oh God!
It is tangentially related to Homestuck.
Tangentially related to Homestuck. Yes. Oh Christ! What are you up to now? Oh yeah, no, I've seen this. God,
I just found this.
Oh damn, that's sad. You're behind. You're behind again.
Look, I'm aware I'm behind again.
Bruh.
It's not my fault. The reason I checked was because I found a Milton post.
Oh boy.
Which was this.
What?
Mason, are you even aware of the Muppet Joker? I assume not.
I don't think Mason's on Tumblr.
No, I don't. At all.
God, this has got to be a weird introduction to the Muppet Joker.
I'm abstaining.
Yeah,
You're
probably,
abstaining. Fair
that's
enough.
probably wise. That's probably wise.
For the best. Don't fall down the rabbit hole me and Alex have.
Okay.
Same goes for the audience.
Best not, guys. Best not.
Best not. It's bizarre.
You know what's a much better use of your time? Watching all the content on the Shadeboy channel.
Yeah. Good luck watching.
Gotta get that.
No. Probably. Yeah, basically 2 full weeks of continuous video. Have fun with that.
Damn. Yeah, have fun with that.
Have fun with
that sounds like a lot.
Yeah. It is. Okay. Okay, right, so here's my thought. Here's my thought for some stuff that happens in the battle. So, Xander and Mason are fighting pretty damn well together. Because, you know, they're good fucking buddies. They're good pals. They're in sync on this shit. They got that synergy going.
Hey there, buddy chum pal friend.
Yeah. You got some I-beams being flung, you got some fire being thrown, you know. All this. Arthur is able to keep up with it for the most part with this massive power boost from the Grimdark Trance. I'm thinking at some point in the battle to sort of sway the advantage in Masson and Xander's favor, because if Arthur wins this fight, Masson and Xander are dead. Like Arthur, it's just that sort of bloodlusted sort of thing of like he's just going. And it doesn't matter who is in the way, he's just gonna go. However, if Xander and Masson win the fight, they're probably not going to immediately kill Arthur because they don't have that sort of like... They aren't people who would just kill at the drop of a hat. They're probably, other than the girlfriends, other than just Cereza and Opal, there's kind of 4 people who would kill immediately at the drop of a hat. Julian, Damasa, Arthur, and Nemina. The other 4 would not. They'd actually... Xander, Masson, Cereza, and Opal would actually, they'd hesitate.
Yeah.
And that hesitation at the end of a fight like this is the opportunity for the air to be cleared effectively of, Arthur's tired, beaten down, can't fight anymore. That sort of rage has just been beaten back by just sheer exhaustion. He now has the capacity that he can understand what they're saying. He always could, he just wouldn't have been listening.
I will hesitate, bitch.
We'll hesitate, and it will be what saves us all. But it's in that moment at the end of the fight when everyone's fucking exhausted, all been drained of all ability to fight, that idea, that realization of, we're kind of on the same team.
We're not so different, you and I.
We're not so different, you and I, and you also. Oh dear, this was pointless.
You and I's.
You and I's. But...
all 4 of them. Oh no, sorry.
5 of them.
There we go.
All 5 of them. Xander has 3. But anyway, it's in that moment.
I remembered that Xander had 3 for some reason in my brain. Masson only had 1.
Cyclops.
It's his bald head is secretly the eye.
No, it's just the fucking the fucking sphere. It's the fucking orb. Masson's head is just a giant. You know the orb, the giant fucking glowing bastard. Mm-hmm. It's Vegas, right? It's in Vegas.
Oh yeah, it's in Vegas.
Yeah,
I'm going to see it later this year.
Mm. But yeah, it's the fucking Masson's head is just the Las Vegas orb. But anyway,
damn, Masson's head has had a Honkai Star Rail advert on it.
Disgusting. I feel so sorry for him.
That's why he keeps the hat on.
Yes, to hide the Genshin.
No Honkai, no Genshin.
I don't.
There is.
Does it matter? Does it matter?
Maybe, I don't know.
I was about to say, June, think very carefully about your response to this question.
Anyway, I was gonna ask, does Masson polish his head?
Look at that shine. Of course he polishes his head.
He intentionally
sheer
reflects.
glimmer.
He intentionally creates fire so that it'll reflect in his head to shine bright and blind people.
To just fully give
like the
bold,
like the freaking mirror shield from Ocarina of Time.
I was thinking just Neptune's head from fucking SpongeBob.
Masson really is the Krillin. He's the best friend of the, well, maybe not main character, but definitely the most
the one
prominent
with
character.
The wild hair and the beams.
With the childhood, the sort of childhood, well, not childhood friend, but like he's kind of there because he's a friend.
He's the best friend of the character with the messy spiky hair and the laser beams.
Yeah.
And he's also bald.
Yep. And being the youngest is kind of like being short, right? Shortest lifespan.
But man,
not lifespan, but life lived so far.
If we ever introduce any women into this series that are interested in men in any way, shape, or form, Masson's going to be unstoppable by this logic.
My plan all along.
My plan all along to bag the Android 18 of this series. Anyway, that aside, so okay, so, but to turn the tide, here's my idea. We know people can unlock some power of their aspect without going god tier. It's a lot less of it, but a little tiny extra thing. Just a little bit. I'm thinking, in this moment of just desperation, my friends are in danger, my family is in danger, my children are in danger, everything is fucked right now. Something about this has got to change. Effectively, Xander just digs deep and manages to unlock a little bit of rage power, which is what helps to turn the tide. Because that's the thing. Arthur can't speak, but he can nod and shake his head. So he can answer yes or no questions. So the message can come across that way. No, you know what? Not the three spot. No. Exca Sprite does not help because Exca Sprite, well, Graska Sprite, just fucking hates Arthur and actively wants him dead, but can't actually do anything about it. It's like, I hate you, and I want you to die, but because of how my brain works now as a sprite, I can't do it myself. So the most I can do is, if I know you're going to be in a difficult situation, to be as far away from that as possible so I can't help. No matter how much my sprite programming tries to make me help. Okay. So that's that fight. Next, I'll go into Demacia section for the fight of Julin and Demacia versus Nemona. This one's going to be a lot less fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to be real. Because, well, yes, Demacia does have really powerful weaponry, and Julin is very strong now, having gone through a whole training arc type thing.
And also has that Chainsaw Man craziness.
And also has a little bit of that a good bit of that Chainsaw Man craziness.
Mm-hmm.
Nemona has some ludicrous... Well, I was about to say, has some ludicrously powerful gear. From, having to fight his way through Hades multiple times.
Yeah.
And is formally trained and is very well trained in his weapon. And has Ultra Instinct, yes. So,
Here.
Demacia would probably have figured out how to make a pocket transportalizer.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's Demacia. She's a mad scientist. That's like her shtick. So, I think the idea here now is basically Demacia's gotten Julin out there. Julin is bleeding out, but isn't quite dead yet, but is still definitely going to die. And due to the sprites being so far away now, due to the pocket transportalizer, they can't heal Julin either. But, if they had stayed, Julin and Demacia would both have been definitely killed. So, the idea is that we had, because I've discussed this one with June a good bit. Basically, idea
a
we
while
had,
ago though, because I barely remember.
So you
this.
probably forgot, but I did remember. I made some notes of. I got these ideas.
Listening to my fun little ramblings. Yeah.
Yes. So, Demacia, we know jetpacks exist in Spurb. Definitely Demacia has a jetpack. Demacia gets Julin, and as Julin is about to fall unconscious from blood loss, just tells Demacia, take me to the core of Prospit. Just has like a sort of vision, light-bound type shit, just sort of like knows what to do. a little bit. Like, is an innate just a hunch, not like a vision, like a seer, just like a hunch she has of just like, this is, I think this is a good idea. And so, you know, Damasa tells Opal and Cereza, Julin is dead. Nimona killed her. And then starts flying Julin over to Prospect. And so Julin becomes the first one to go god tier. Meanwhile, I'll put this in just Cereza's. Actually, no, I'll put it just in the general section because everyone's involved now. My thought here is we've had a fight on Losat here. We've had a fight on Lohar. We've had a fight on Losor. What would be another really interesting place to have a fight? Well, Locat would be a really cool dynamic location for a fight, I think. Or what if this final fight happened on the spiraling Prospit?
Ooh.
So, idea, Nimona goes to Prospit as well, but arrives from a different direction, so he doesn't see Damasa and Julin arrive.
Yeah.
Doesn't know they are here, and assumes they're going to be hiding. They're going to be finding a place to hide away from me. They're not going to be going out into the session to do something. That'd be stupid. Because I'm the biggest threat here. I'm the most powerful one here. I'm the coolest one. Everyone who doesn't want to die by my sword would be avoiding me at all costs. They wouldn't do anything risky. He's buying into his own hype too much. So. So, Nimona heads to Prospect to try and kill everyone else's dream selves. So the various Carapacians on Prospit are all just hiding like everyone else's dream selves, except Xander's, of course. His is all the way over on, and Massen's, of course. Theirs are all the way over on Durs, which Nimona also doesn't know about.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm thinking basically as Arthur, Xander, and Massen, as well as Opal and Cereza, make their own ways to Prospit, they manage to effectively meet up and go, you're gonna go kill Nimona? We're gonna go kill Nimona? Sick. Tight. Let's all go kill Nimona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
So, the 6 of them begin to fight. Nimona still has the upper hand. It's a lot less of the upper hand. There are a couple of close shaves, but Nimona still isn't getting a single hit landed on him, and he's still landing some decently good hits on everyone else. But not enough on any one individual person to wear them down to death. They're still not doing good, but Nimona hasn't killed any of them.
Carrying to boss. I imagine it's an underarm carry because that sounds hilarious.
Yeah. I'm imagining as the only way Damasa could think of to get to the core fast enough was to just straight up crash as fast and hard as possible into Prospit to just use herself as a drill to get to the core. And it worked,
Damn,
but of course the
she was on
jetpack's
that
broken.
Gurren Lagann pack.
Yeah, of course. She just went, drill! And just into Prospit. And it worked, but the jetpack's busted, so she can't fly out. Julin ascends, and then Julin just and then Damasa just goes, well, how are we going to get out of here? Because, of course, it's a small room. Julin hasn't started flying fully yet. And then Julin just hops into the air, starts flying, zips over to Damasa before she can even think, immediately grabs her underarm, and just Superman flies out of the fucking, out of fucking Prospit. And I'm imagining, here's the scene I'm imagining. Here's the scene I'm imagining, okay? Opal, Cereza, Masson, Arthur, Xander, all, kind of exhausted, catching their breath. Nimona, he's gloating. You can't beat me at all. And then the ground starts to shake a little bit. Nimona doesn't pay any mind. And then the ground starts to glow a little bit around under his feet as Julin just fucking light speed zips out and just fucking
don't lose your way.
Yeah, full just beam of light and also fucking uppercutting him in the fucking chin. Nimona flung into the air and so everyone kind of has a moment to
sure you can.
Yeah, as everyone kind of has a moment to realize, oh shit, Julin, you're alive. What's with the get-up? What's going on? Oh yeah, I'm a god tier now. I don't even know what that means properly, but I just kind of know I am that. Oh, sick. Wonder if we can do that. Probably. Okay, right, that's the thing to consider. And then Nimona just fucking lands on the ground, still alive. And so the fight goes on.
Can we see Gotte Julin?
Oh yes! Yeah, I forgot about the
I love it when Alex speaks English.
I love it when I turn into an old man. What? Anyway. Yeah, and everyone's kind of so in sync on just I fucking hate you, that even though they sometimes can get in each other's way during this fight, people are still pulling off combo moves. They're pulling out all their fucking fray motifs that they got. It's just get him, get his ass. Xander fires a powerful I-beam, and then Julin just sort of air of light manipulates it, turns it around to hit Nimona again and again until it eventually just dissipates.
Yeah.
We're talking some Julin fires a laser beam at Masson's head and it reflects and it hits Nimona. For a little bit of comedy in there.
Yeah.
Straight up mirror shield.
Eventually, I believe we agreed Arthur does get the final hit. We agreed originally Arthur Pendra does get the final hit on Nimina.
That's satisfying.
Everyone sets him up for the final hit because it's funny.
Yeah, everyone goes.
Combo move.
Everyone just kind of goes, yeah, you deserve this. He's a... Like, you've been his pawn for ages, you're finally free from it. Go ahead, mate. And here's the thing I'm imagining. Like, everyone sets up the final attack. Like, Neiman is flung into the air. And then Arthur just, like, high speed, like, full supersonic flight, punches Nimina square in the chest. Like, I'm thinking almost looking like, My Hero Academia Season 1? Or my punch in the fucking Nomu, that kind of shit.
Yep.
Sends Nimina flying backwards. And instead of breaking through like a fucking glass dome or anything, he flies back and smashes straight into Lohar. And it effectively starts to... And a part of it fucking crumbles in on itself. Like there is now a hole directly to Hades in the surface of the hearth. That is just the crater that Nimina leaves.
Damn.
And he lands on his quest bed.
Oh.
Yeah.
But we decided that basically, in this moment, as Nimina is resurrecting, he effectively gets kind of the view from halfway down of just like, because he's alive but dying as he's flying through the session. He dies when he hits his quest bed, you know? It's not the falling that kills you, it's landing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in his final moments, he falls through just the depths of Hades and he sees his land crumbling around him. Consorts panicking, screaming, and dying around him because of the consequences of his own actions. And he just kind of goes, oh shit. Oh, this is what I do. This is the shit I've made. And so when he comes back from as a god tier, he does want to turn that shit around. But no one believes him.
Yeah.
No one believes him at all, because why the fuck would you? And before I forget, here is God tier Nimina.
Oh, nice.
I did at one point consider changing the scarf and hat, but now that's it's part of the ensemble.
Yeah.
Hey, purple and yellow are complementary colours.
Absolutely.
It does work
Just look at Wario.
Wow.
Look at Wario, look at Waluigi.
Yeah.
They both work.
Yeah.
Look at both of them together. That's
Yeah. Waluigi.
Just don't look at Wa Peach because she doesn't exist.
Nope.
Nope.
Definitely don't look up War Peach, guys.
Don't look it up.
Definitely don't. You definitely won't see some interesting, cool designs that people made.
Wa Peach was basically just Bowsette before Bowsette was a thing.
And after.
And after, yeah.
And now, I think it's about time we. I think we've got the big fights, Grimdark. Now, since everyone knows what God tier is now, what order do the other 6 go God tier? Do we think?
Ooh, I think Arthur first. Arthur would just.
Yes.
His own.
I will show off all of the God tiers once we've got the order. All of the remaining ones.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Arthur. Then I think Xander would probably be a good bit later.
Yeah. Xander and Masson, I'd say.
Yeah.
I feel like Damasa.
Yeah, Damasa is very... Damasa would very much pull the fucking Vegeta. I want to be a God tier! I want Damasa
Pure,
would fully...
unadulterated badass.
Damasa would fully just be like, if Dueling can go God tier, I can go God tier. And she'd be very disappointed with what she finds when that happens, but we will get to that in a bit. So, who next? Who will go after Damasa, do we think?
Well, if Xander and Masson are later...
Yeah, well, later than...
Opal.
They wouldn't be immediately after Arthur, is what I'm saying.
Probably Opal.
Hmm.
I feel like Cereza would be last for some reason.
Yeah,
Okay.
Cereza very much has sort of like a... I don't want to say cowardly streak, but more like a just like a nervous streak in her.
Yeah.
Very much. Like, her session has been very much surrounded by fear.
So, Xander, Masson, Cereza, that order?
Yeah. And so, here you have it. First, Arthur, the Mage of
Yes.
Hope. Next,
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for her that this is her fit, Damasa.
Oh my god, I absolutely despise the
Bards get it so rough, man. It looks so shit. And to contrast it, Opal, the Witch of Heart.
Oh,
Versions with and
it's
without hats.
Goated fit. Goated.
It is a good, that like legit, great fucking fit.
yeah.
Amazing fit. Next, Xander, the Mage of Rage.
Despite all my range, I'm still just...
Nice.
Next, Masson, the Page of Time.
Yes.
With and without hat. It's so funny.
Does he maybe get a red hat?
He might make one as an alternate outfit. Also, I think I forgot to color the legs. The white parts on the legs, they should be grey. His gams are just out. That's the page fit.
Okay.
He's just got really pale legs.
He's got like a reverse tan.
It's because all the sun lands on his
All
head.
the sunlight smacks him in the fucking head.
Well, yeah, but also he's constantly covering his legs with the overalls, so it's like...
And finally, Cereza, the Maid of Blood.
Nice.
Yeah, nice.
But yes, also, one final thing. Martha immediately makes another version of the outfit, which I have made previously.
There we go.
There we go. Infinitely better.
With black shades to match the rest of the colour scheme.
Ayo, shades?
Like Shade Boy.
No.
Shadow the Hedgehog.
Guys, put in the comments if you laugh.
No, just put in the comments. Just put imagine something and put it there.
Just put in the comments.
Everyone invent your
I
own
trust it.
trend.
Yeah.
To put in the comments.
Looking at you, Stryer. I trust you to do something wacky. No
Something
pressure.
silly and zany.
No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure. All the pressure.
So much pressure. Like we're forming not a diamond. We're not forming a diamond. We're forming a fucking star here. That's how much pressure we're dealing with.
I am incredibly judgmental.
Anyway, so
On that note.
okay. What I'm gonna do, one more thing. Who else would make, do we think, altered versions of their god tier outfits? The colours will stay the same. So I don't think if we go by the same logic of Arthur not particularly liking the Hope colour scheme, sadly he's stuck with it. Like
We're gonna go with the
Arthur compared to
red hat for Masson.
Masson obviously makes a red hat. For the costumes for characters that already for the characters that have real world counterparts like Xander, Masson, etc. I'm just gonna consult with you guys what alternate versions they'd want to make. For the NPCs, I'll just, and I'll have those for next time. But
Yeah.
who else? Do we think Julian would? Or would Julian have fun with the wind sock hood thing?
I feel like she would just have multiple fits.
Or like multiple different looks with the
Yeah. Just for funsies. One of them is the wind sock.
Yeah. One of them is just default plain, just for for you're gonna have some occasions where you go classic, if it's bad fashion. If it's about please for the love of God, don't make me wear a goddamn codpiece in my supreme form outfit. You won't go classic ever, for good reason.
Yeah.
Damasa, this is just the fit Damasa is going to be wearing in God tier forever now. She will only ever be wearing the other one, either by mistake or because some outside forces made her do so, and she would not like it.
Exactly.
I think Xander would probably not bother with an alternate version of the mage fit. I think Xander would very much be like, yeah, fine, sure. This works well enough. Opal would definitely make one that's a similar kind of dress, I think. Opal is fashion forward even after she's gone through her humility arc. Do we think Nimona would? Or do we think Nimona would stick with the default Sylph fit? I'm gonna say he'd definitely wear default often, or at least he wouldn't be like viscerally averse to it, I don't think. But would he like wear? I don't know. Arthur. What about Arthur then? Because like all we can really change with that is just the shape of the outfit, what it is shaped like. I don't think changing the color is kind of defeats the purpose. It's just a different other outfit. So... Pardon me. We'll just leave the two Hope-bound off this for now.
Yeah.
And what about Cereza? Do we think Cereza would change the fit? Because on Cereza, those are meant to be white. On Cereza, those aren't her legs, those are just white socks. That's it.
Yeah, I'd say probably.
Alright, and I'll probably work with June to make Opal and Cereza's alternate fits, as well as Julian's, presumably like a couple. And then with Masson, I assume he'd have just like an alternate fit that's basically the exact same, but it's just he's basically alchemized a cap to also fit with the color scheme.
Yeah.
That's basically it. I think Opal would also make a version of the outfit that is just the default, but with, you know, heart-coloured hat as opposed to the violet, so that it fits in with the rest of the fit, if she wants to go classic. You know? And that, I think, is a good place to end the mid-game section.
Yeah.
I think.
Cool.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else we needed to do for the mid-game? Let's scroll up and check.
I'll be wrapping it up here.
First and last ascension. God tier outfits. Yeah, that's it. That's mid-game. So,
Nice.
that is where we're going to be wrapping up for today.
Nice.
Next time, the end of this session. Because this session is unbeatable, because Damasa didn't bother doing the frog thing, we gotta go do more things after the session.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more to come from this series. There's not one episode left, there are several. But there's one episode left of effectively, like, call it season 1. Why not? We'll call it season 1 has one episode left. But there will be more seasons.
Brilliant.
Yeah. But for now, this is where we will end this episode of Homestuck Halves. What do we think, everybody? What do we think? People here. What do we think?
I love
I
it.
did a lot of yapping in the first half of this video.
You did a lot
I did
of
very
yapping,
little yapping
but
in
it
general
was
in
some
this video.
Good yapping, I'll be real.
To be fair, you said we'd struggle without the duo boys because of how good they are at coming up with stuff on the spot, but I came up with stuff fairly fast.
You certainly did not struggle. I will tell you that much.
Get me going and I'm all right.
And as I said earlier, I didn't really have to do much because most of the stuff that Masson did was stuff that you'd already come up with, which is very helpful.
Very good for you. Very helpful for you.
Yay for me.
But next time, we will be deciding what happens post the god tiering. What allies and enemies are made during the session, near the end game where we actually focus on the final boss. What things occur through the session after god tiering. Do we do anything about our versions of the Midnight Crew? Do we realise at some point before we get to the actual end of the session that we can't win? We already know what's wrong with the session.
It's so funny that we just kind of, for like half the game, we just barely acknowledge the Midnight Crew.
Yeah, like I'm imagining Xander interacts with them a little bit, but not much. You know? It's more like it's the equivalent of like a passing nod in the hallways, effectively. It's not much.
Hey at most.
Yes, and then
Maybe we get them to do something.
possible interaction with the denizens. How do we deal with Jack Noir specifically? The Black Queen, the Black King, the final battle, as well as there are a few things that are definitely going to be occurring during the late and end game that were previously agreed on that haven't actually happened yet. For example, during this section, we will get to see Sunform Nimona and Rainbow Drinker Xander, the last two transformations remaining in the series that were previously agreed upon.
Yeah.
But that's a story for another day, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
If you like this video, hit that like button. If you very much liked it, want to see more like it, hit that subscribe button. We currently aren't uploading episodes of Reading Homestuck every Monday or Tuesday, depending on your time zone, but we will be...
Because we finished.
Because we finished Reading Homestuck the original, but we will be, once we get into Paradox Space, probably only a little bit after this video goes up for you guys. It'll probably be like a few days, so...
Yeah.
Lucky you guys. We also upload things occasionally on Thursdays or Fridays, again, depending on your time zone. Things such as this very video that you're watching. Other things, also including Dicey Deeds, our tabletop role-playing game podcast show thing. Apparently there are a few ideas in the works. We three do not know about these ideas 100%, because these ideas belong in the mind of Arthur and also of Amin. We might see Amin in the GMing spot at some point on Dicey Deeds, so you can look forward to that as well.
The only thing I know is that I'm afraid.
Yes, Amin.
Because
Amin has a
again,
track record of being really good, but really brutal.
Yeah, I've told these people that, but I'm the only one who's experienced it. I'm the only one who knows what's in store.
You're the only one who knows just how afraid to be.
Yeah,
But yes, other things also, we might be bringing back a couple of old classics at some point, but I won't spoil. I won't spoil what is coming down the pipeline beyond that. You can also follow me on Tumblr, where by the time you're seeing this, all of the images I showed earlier on, as well as the God tier Trollsonas, including Damas's upgrade, will be on my Tumblr. I have a long sort of thread list thing of just all of the stuff I've made for this series. So you can check it all out there. You can also send me asks, send me DMs, whatever. Another note, because this has happened, I believe, twice in the last, 2 weeks. Sometimes YouTube will just eat a comment. Just straight up, you undo it. Never happened. So, if you wanted to send me a link or a recommendation of something or anything like that, and YouTube just told you to go fuck yourself, you can DM it to me on Tumblr, where... God, I really hope that doesn't happen, because it's really fucking annoying for me as well. When I'm in the comment section, I'm looking, and somebody's like, hey, can I recommend you this thing? I'm like, yeah, sure, recommend me this thing. And it just never comes through because YouTube just decides we don't deserve to speak to each other anymore. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, YouTube.com, you fucking bastard. Anyway, you can also follow June on Tumblr and on Instagram. June.
Yeah, follow me on Tumblr to see random things I reblog sometimes. I don't reblog that often. I'm just realizing.
She's just there. But
I'm
Instagram.
there. Instagram is where you can actually see the real content. I do cosplay stuff.
Indeed.
I go to conventions. I take photos of mostly my friends, but also other mutuals that I have. I make cool looking. I make good looking photos out of them on Lightroom and stuff, and then I upload them.
And I can tell you some good shit.
Yeah.
And you can also follow Arthur on Twitch. He is not currently active, but soon, probably, he will be. So you can check that out there. And also, every so often, when he streams, every so often, you might see some of us popping up either in chat or, you know, on the stream itself. Who knows? Who knows? Truly unpredictable. Mason, any last thoughts, points, any such thing?
Only to say once again, thank you very much for watching. Please do comment, and failing that, Tumblr
if
message
you decide to fail
instead.
That, again, really annoying for all involved. Sucks.
We're really enjoying making this, and we hope that you're enjoying watching it. And if you have any input you'd like to make, or any cool like fan art to send us, because we've had that before, that was awesome.
Ooh, yes,
please.
If you have any fan art, please do send it. We love seeing that.
And take every opportunity possible to emphasize how bald Masson is.
Yes,
in the Also,
like,
I do seem to recall seeing a comment on, I believe, the first video. I'm not sure if we cleared this up. The reason he's called Masson is because he's three. Is Mario, and Luigi Mario. That is what the reference.
This is what the reference. Yeah. And on that bombshell, we'll see you.
It's not Mason without Mario.
And on that bombshell, we'll see you in the next video. Later.
Goodbye.
See you next time.
Sayonara.
Woohoo!